Welcome back to this series where we're looking at the old Great Central Railway mainline north of Annesley, or the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway Derbyshire lines as it was originally known. We're here with our Phil and we've got Rich joining us again, and in that last video we looked at what remained of this famous railway line north of Annesley Tunnel through the intriguing cut-in at Kirkby South Junction, Portland Park and the Kirkby Bentinck Station site. We're picking up here a short distance north from that Kirkby Bentinck station where we've got the start of a decent stretch of surviving disused railway. Again, like last time, I'll keep showing the maps so you can follow where we are. And on this episode, we'll take you just as far as the approach to Heath, where we've covered in other videos on the Great Central Railway split with the Chesterfield Loop. So this is just north of Kirkby Bentinck station, look. And we've got this little minor track, but we've still got this bridge remaining, and this is about as much remains as we've seen since leaving Annesley Tunnel. Well, probably even further back than that. Where's the last bridge south of Annesley that's still intact over the Great Central? Can you remember? I can't remember one off the top of my head. There's certainly not any through Hucknall, is there? Genuine question now. I'll have to look that one up. So we've moved on a mile or so further up the GCR now. We're coming up to is it MacArthur Glen, the shopping outlet, not too far away now. And look, we've got the GCR on top of us, just here on top of this big embankment. And we've got a culvert here, look, with this stream going under the railway embankment. Just backtracking on ourselves slightly now from where we've just seen that culvert. Just going back there is where we've just been looking at that bridge, you know, that we went underneath. And look, it just brings you out here into this fantastic cut-in. Look, just look how deep this is here. Fantastic spectacle, that, isn't it? That looks like the remains of your holiday, Phil. Just showing you here, because we've got a couple of gate posts here. We can see this crossing on the old maps just coming across. This is right at the point here now where this cut-in that we've just been having a look at down there turns into an embankment, and we're going to just carry on this way, walking along this embankment here. And here we are, just coming onto that embankment now. This is an interesting section, this, that we've been following north of Annesley Tunnel today, and I'll keep making comparisons with south of Annesley Tunnel, because this is up here feels a lot more rural, but it's a similar kind of story in that there's a lot of the GCR missing. There's been open cast mining, a lot seems to have been kind of taken back as for farmland, a lot of sections missing, a lot of very perplexing sections where they've kind of really worked hard to get rid of the track bed, embankments, cut-ins, etc. So you can just look down the side there just to get a scale of how high this embankment is, and it never comes out on camera. It always flattens things out. Maybe this side might be better actually, look. A long way down there. It's not a steep embankment side, but it's kind of shallow but high. Wide as well, really wide. But after a short time, the embankment just starts to go downhill, and you'd be forgiven for thinking, look, the path's going down there. There's a track bed. You'd be forgiven for thinking that there's a bridge or something that's been taken out here. But no, there's no bridge on the maps, and you'll see in a minute the embankment's disappearing, and it's just been absolutely decimated and turned into a field. And here it is. And there's the embankment we've just walked across. So they've done some serious earthwork digging here, haven't they, to remove that?
Yeah, the strange thing is also it went under Pinkston Lane, and yet it almost looks like the same eye. It's got to dip to get under the lane, so it's a bit deceiving.
So as this field does rise quite a bit. Yeah, will all become clear when we get over there, I suppose. So hang on, looking back, there's the embankment we've just been walking on. Just see it to the left of that pylon, the pylon in the middle of the field here. It's a collection of trees. I'm still trying to line it up, Phil, where that embankment is. And we've climbed up this field, but this is Pinxton Lane.
I think so.
Pinxton Lane. And this, the GC went underneath here. You don't think this road could have been flattened, dear?
No, that's what I thought about it, but no, because I remember probably into 2000s, late 90s, that the parapet was still standing on one side, a bit of it. But them trees give you the false reading though, don't they, look?
They do. You don't know where the true embankment is, but it did drop down quite a bit, didn't it?
So this farmer's certainly gained quite a bit of decent land, hasn't he? And it's made it easier for him, hasn't it?
Contrast, isn't it, to how that is left untouched, cut-in embankment, than this.
And yet he's got rid of all this embankment, and well, they were cutting just where we stood because it went under the road, so yeah.
What's through there then? Where's the trackbed goes?
It intersects the main road down onto the industrial estate where Co-op is and everything, and you can pick a bit of track bed up over the other side and then under the A38.
Which we've done before.
Where the old gird has still been utilised for the eastbound carriageway.
Everything, what I've seen here has been new ground for me today. Really, really fascinating. It's always great to see new sections of the Great Central. So yeah, a lot of this stuff this way now is familiar with some sections. We'll take you back to December 2022 and a bitterly cold day where we'd been shooting a video on the nearby Blackwell Trail. We had a quick scout around the GCR by the A38 and around the junction with the South Normanton Colliery branch. The current day bridge that carries the A38 over the old railway still exists. This was the south end of the new Hucknall sidings, linked to the nearby colliery. This is the Blackwell Trail. Here, this is an old colliery branch. I've covered it a few years ago here. This embankment here, look, and these stones, I remember these now. Cold and snowy, if I remember that day. But this is the Great Central Railway embankment coming over here, look. And again, it's typical, look, like we've been seeing. Embankment one side, this side nothing. This side absolutely capitulated, look. It's not the right word, is it? Obliterated, not capitulated. Hang on, Phil. We've just scrambled up a steep embankment. I thought we were on top. Is it all the way up there? Wow. What are you seeing here, Phil? Oh, wow. Piece of track here. Is this part of the original Great Central Railway?
Well,
tangled up.
There's a lot of things that can disprove that this is...
Sorry, Rich, I knew that was going to happen.
No.
Sorry. Weaponised thorn bushes. So this is this original GCR track?
No. There's a lot of things that gives it away. First of all, them clips are not express standard, what do they call these? Dog clips, are they? I don't know what you call these.
Track things.
These aren't mainline, are they? All right. And also, they're not old enough to be.
No. It's evident.
But anyway, the point of it is that this whole area used to be official BR disposal point. So when Westhouse's depot were running, their jobs was to bring the infrastructure waste trains up here. They used to use the old spare that used to come up that we've been on before, up from Westhouse's through B winning and A winning and what have you.
Ill kept.
They used to come up here, they used to go round the corner into Hucknall sidings,
New Hucknall
siding, yeah. And then they used to reverse down here. Now I'm pretty sure there used to be two tracks here, and they were basically disposal sidings, but they happened to be almost laid on the Great Central, so people would come and get in a bit of a tiff over it, like we probably would have if I didn't have this information now. So basically there were sidings where the infrastructure engineers used to come in, they used to park them up, the diggers and all the plant machinery would tip all the crap and that's why there's so much infrastructure in this area. It's a disposal point, not Great Central Tracks, but it's still a decent...
Confuses people because someone posted on Facebook that these rails were here as part of the Great Central, weren't they?
Apparently so, yeah. I don't know who that was. But...
Well, you can understand why, let's be honest. I mean, if I didn't know what I just knew, I wouldn't. Look at this, you know.
Yeah, it's always nice to see. It's always exciting
good
to
anyway,
see rails. Yeah. Even though it's still old railway line on the Great Central track bed that has an history from a period in time, hasn't it?
But even this is a disposal point. You know, probably went in late 80s, early 90s. So even still, it's been here a long time, and it's just weird that it's still here. Everything's gone. And this is still here, it's very strange.
Has no one spotted this?
Conductor or something, is it?
Yeah,
or is it?
I think it is. Not part of a toilet, I hope. Look, it's an insulator, isn't it?
Insulator, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, where's that come from then?
It's not that pram before, is it? It's a floating pond.
A pram.
Well, I think one or two people label this area as an infrastructure graveyard, and you know, that's why.
Of course, going back, we were finding all those old concrete sleepers and bits of track and all sorts.
It was, everything and anything, yeah.
It was still good to find that. It was still good, but it was nothing related to Great Central or the lines that we were covering. M1 motorway there. Now, we've covered a few, in fact, we've covered one Great Central Railway bridge down in Leicestershire that crossed, the GCR crossed the M1, sorry. This is the other place where the Great Central Mainline dissects the M1 motorway. But this bit of M1 arrived after the Great Central closed, so there was never any bridge under or over the M1. But right next to where it would have, for sake of argument, you've got this old bridge. This is in Old Hucknall. Old Blackwell, sorry. Oh, sorry, it's over here as well, right? So it's just got a little bit missing in the middle. That's one end, look, and that's the other end. So it's been infilled because we're standing on the infill at the moment. So there, the cutting will be kind of going right there, dissecting the motorway at that point. Now, there's not a fantastic amount of the Great Central Railway around this area, but it's great just to find these little remains, just random. People probably drive past this on the way into Old Blackwell, or even on the side of the M1 motorway there. Even realising, I couldn't tell you when we're driving across down up or down the M1 where the Great Central Railway crossed under, not without having a map in front of me. That's looking over the other side of the bridge, infilled again at that side. So next up after Blackwell is Newton. And here we are. So I'm assuming this was another cutting job, and this was an overbridge. Just a hump in the road now, isn't it?
The village of Newton has certainly expanded since these old maps and the GCR first opened. The cutting has been filled in, and even housing has been built on the line south of this bridge.
So this cutting is, you know, what happened to the bridge is anyone's guess.
I think there's still some remains under there of it.
Would be, isn't it? Yeah, well, if the bridge were taken down, why don't they just flatten the road, make it more safe?
Classic infilling job, isn't it?
I think so.
And there's your infilled cutting.
So I'm just looking at all these bricks here. Bit of coins.
Oh yeah.
They're all strewn around here. They're only a small bridge here, mind you, but...
Yeah, what's that post? Is it meant to be there? Is it being put there? Or is
this was a cutting, wasn't it? Where we are now, just about to cross, well, actually, probably, maybe track level now, actually. I'm just wondering. Them bricks there. I've only ever seen one picture of this bridge here, and it's just, there is a bridge stanchion each side with a deck going over, then a bit more embankment, then another lower deck going across the Silver Hill Trail, you know. So yeah, look, you can wait. So where that Newton sign is there, this road's come down here, but it didn't used to go where it does now, look. It used to go straight where we're stood now, look.
Oh, okay.
It used to go around there, around a sharp bend, and this was an embankment here. You just come off the trail there, look, but this was still an embankment, and of course the road's been built, and there was just a girder bridge just there where them people are now almost. So that's where the road used to go. And then it went over this old stretch of road, bit of embankment, it may have been another extension of the bridge, I'm not sure, but then it was bridged over the Silver Hill Trail, which is just over there, which is the line from just north of West Houses that takes you up to the pits up at Pilsley and Silver Hill, etc, etc. So it was just a single deck. This was so steep there, they used to have banking up there actually. But anyway, where this bridge is over there, the other side of the bridge, on the other side of the trail, you can just make out parts of the brickwork, so we can probably go and find them in the bushes. Remains here, you got nothing apart from landfill and not cast, and just reprofiling always Tibshelf station.
These were open a lot later than the Great Central, weren't they, because of the collivets and such. These remain in remarkable condition, as in roots. But the GC's just completely
yeah, there's bits here, look at the bridge here.
So this is a GC crossing over?
Yeah, this is it come over here behind. This is probably the remains of stanchions. You know, it'd shoot over here, it's all gone to the left. That's what you've got there, look.
Crikey.
This uncredited photo, I understand, is from the 1950s. This is taken from a train on what is now the Silver Hill Trail. That's the GCR passing over us there, and we've just been stood right underneath where that bridge was. And that road bridge to the right, that's what Phil has just been talking about a few minutes back. It's incredible to think that nothing remains of either of those GCR bridges or the embankments adjoining them.
There's a pile of earth with bricks and stone littered about, that this is almost certainly remains of the, you know, and it's, I mean, you've got to remember, even when trains were coming up here to say pits, this were long gone, so this has had time to grow trees out of it and everything since it's been tore up in late 60s, hasn't it?
This general area, did they get about destroying the Great Central in swift fashion, or did it just kind of sit derelict for decades?
Well, I think it's when the pits closed, the pit tips were all handy infill, and all the area were landscape, weren't it, for amenities and all this. It was just very handy to use to be able to reprofile. I'm not sure about open casting on this section, it could well have been, but certainly there's a ready-made pile of earth to fill everything in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the earth that they needed to do something with.
It's just easy, because they have to, I know they didn't do it so much in the olden days, but pit tips generally get put into the scenery now, don't they? They're not allowed to keep them. I'm not sure what it was like in the 60s, but they've obviously got rid of, there was a lot of pit tips between here going up to home, where there were loads of very, very high ones. So if you ever look at old pictures, you can see where it's all gone.
And next up on the Great Central Mainline, the Derbyshire lines, is the little village of Tibshelf. Another story, another case of an infill cutting right through the middle. I'm assuming there's nothing left of the bridge then. It's a different type of brick, isn't it?
I don't know, I always wonder about that. It doesn't look like an original one, does it?
No.
Indeed, what's there now wasn't the original bridge. The original bridge is shown in this old photo. It was replaced, and I'm not sure of the date, but I believe it was sometime prior to 1950 to today's brick top bridge. Obviously, that's infilled. Does anyone know? Does anyone have any more information on this?
You just see the size of the cutting on the maps, just to get a scale. So is this it then? Is this
Yeah, the
infill?
station was down in this infill here. Platform's quite, probably I'd say where the horse is, you kind of drop down to that level, really. Deep cutting.
And nothing, I'm assuming nothing, there's nothing remain, it's just buried, is it?
Just buried,
the station. What a shame.
There, them so-called bridge tops there, you'd probably not even know, would you?
No.
Because you couldn't really say that there was, you know, it's so well infilled, it's impossible to know that there was, unless you've got an eye for a border hedgerow or a border fence, you're not going to know.
That's to be one of the most erased places I think that we've been.
Probably, yeah.
Other than there being a greenway, well, not a greenway, but you know, a green passageway through the village.
The Great Central Railway's Tibshelf town station, and the first station that we're seeing today on this episode, was situated just to the south of that High Street bridge. A 2-platform station with a goods shed and a signal box.
So this is Pilsley. Now, since Blackwell, there's a path coming in there. Since Blackwell, it's been a little bit of a damp squib, hasn't it? The railway's been farmed out. We've seen it through Newton and Tibshelf. Very slim pickings.
I tell you something, the bike trail is very hard work, because where bridges have been taken or removed, you're having to constantly go like this on the bike, and it's really hard work if you're not used to biking. There's some really severe...
Classic 5-pitch trail.
Is that going to Tibshelf into it as well?
Yeah, that's a bad one as well.
Pilsley Station, this was a bridge. Wow, you'd never know there was a bridge here, Phil.
It was either a long bridge or a double bridge, because you had the Midland spur coming in that used to come off from Morton Colliery and work its way out to save the collieries north of here, and that had its own bridge as well. So this was quite busy, really. It's hard to imagine, isn't it now?
If I overlay the maps, the car park's kind of in the middle of the lines, is it? So we've kind of got a line over here, but there's really nothing. Again, remarkable job at getting rid of the GCR. But Pilsley Station was in here. It was on this side of the road. Yeah, there's bushes. You can get the camera through to get a look in there.
Just it's the same old story with these stations. It's just infill.
You just see the grass. There's nothing, is there? Yeah. A wide green area.
There's plenty of action up there. If you like tree lines, you can see we're all intersection of colliery lines came off both lines. There was a flyover and this, that and the other.
Well, that's the interesting thing here. I mean, if anyone's familiar with the 5-pitch trail, that's where we are now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's lots and lots of colliery lines intercepting each other, junctions, and the GC was massively connected up to those lines, wasn't it? And that's how the 5-pitch trail and a lot of the other trails around here came to be. But it's very much, if you're looking for old railway stuff, it's very much slim pickings, isn't it? It's like this. A lot of reprofiling done, a lot of undulating cycle paths, and not a lot of railway remains.
I don't think that this 5-pitch trail runs on any section of the line apart from a couple of places where it crosses all the way on its entirety.
Really? What, the Great Central?
Yeah, never ever gets on the track bed at all, believe it or not. Just, yeah, but for me, down to, you know, where we've made his way up, nothing. It's just always up above, because that's about the best way you're going to get through there, look.
Oh, yeah. So, I think somebody's conveniently created this slim stick through here. So there's your station. What's this barbed wire fence? There's your infill cutting. Right, just north of, what was that last place we were at? Pilsley. Heading up towards Heath. Yeah, obviously that's where the Great Central split, isn't it? Chesterfield Loop, Great Central Mainline. This is Loco Lane, and the site, here's the trail. I don't think the trail's on the track bed, is it, you said, Phil?
It's just to this side a little bit.
It's not a representation,
so just here.
But you get the idea. Look, it comes down here, must be annoying if you're on a bike, and goes back up the other side here, and this was the site of a viaduct, and you see we've got a photo on here, have we?
Yeah, it's quite an elaborate structure as well. Look at that, it's a beauty, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. A bit like the one over the A38.
A little bit with the crisscross girder, yeah, you're right. But it's got much more nice, stonework.
Shame that. It's nice, that. All right, there's Pilsley Station, yeah. Unbelievable. So hard to link that
with that field
we've just seen, isn't it?
Well, even that as well. I mean, apart from that there, and you can kind of relate it to this cut-off section, it's not hard. It's hard to imagine, isn't it?
Yeah, just without the trees. I mean,
this has been completely reprofiled, and look how these trees must be 50-year-old or more even.
Oh yeah. Now we've seen that photo and we know what the viaduct looks like. It's crossing over here. Wow, how is it possible that there's no remains No bricks, no evidence of those piers.
If we take a look at this map from the late 1890s, around about the time the GCR opened, we've actually got two lines, the GCR and the other line labelled as the Midland Railway Pilsley extension. And I'm trying to figure out what's happened here, as the Midland line is showing as disconnected at the time of this and later maps. I've sat and looked at this photo for quite a while, and you'll notice two bridges / viaducts here, and that missing Midland line I assume is the one closest to camera. You'll notice at some point in history it must have been a stone arch bridge, and we can see the remains of that still existing underneath several attempts to strengthen it with struts. The Great Central span can be seen in the background.
And this was a GCR?
Yeah, this is the main line. This is the next stop's Heath.
Crikey. Again, I keep using that word, erase. So we're just shy of Heath here, just because this is the last thing that we're going to show you today. And there was a bridge going, the railway line went under a bridge on the road that's behind us here, and this is the Heath side of the road where the cutting's been infilled. It's just a field, absolutely nothing to show you. I'm assuming the hedge line on the left hand side's relevant here.
That's probably the only thing that'll indicate, because it's in line with, this is much more prominent on the other side, as you can see. Obviously that's different kettle of fish.
We'll go and have a look. So no remains of this bridge. It wasn't truly infilled.
Well, there's clues a little bit, isn't there? But again, another difficult one. I mean, looking beyond this infill, even where the line was flat there, even that's gone, look.
Yeah. When I've driven past here, this morning, and no indication whatsoever. You twig on that this was, when you know, and you've studied the maps, you can see edge line, fence on that side.
If you raise your camera up, you might just be able to make out there, look. There's a bit of a section that's a slightly different coloured field bit there, but beyond there, there's absolutely nothing.
Story of today. Yeah. Story since Blackwell. Just a wrap up quickly while we're on the side of this main road, guys. So cheers again, joining us today, Rich.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks again for the invite.
You're welcome, and cheers, Phil.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
So different, intriguing. To be honest, there's not as much as I thought there was going to be on this going north of Annesley. Quite an eye opener, really. So quickly, just thanks to everybody, all my channel members, anyone who buys me a coffee, sends me a super thanks, etc. Cheers for watching. We'll see you soon on another video. Bye bye.